Hello everyone and welcome. In today's training video, I'm going to show you guys how to replace the sway bar end links on your third generation Honda CR-V. Now the procedures and techniques I'm going to show you in this video universally apply to all Honda vehicles that use sway bar end links, whether it's a Honda Odyssey, a Honda Civic, or even a Honda Pilot. And it doesn't actually really matter whether it's the front or the rear end links. They all use the same fundamental principles. Now before we begin this repair procedure, we want to raise the rear of the vehicle. And so if you look way ahead of me, that you can see the front wheels there, I've got some wheel chocks on there, and then I've jacked it at the rear jacking point, which is this cross beam that sits between the two rear wheels. And then once that's been jacked up, I have secured the back side of the vehicle with two heavy duty jack stands. So when we remove the wheel, you can actually see the sway bar located right here. And this bar ties the left and right wheels together so that when the suspension is moving, that it has counterforces that act on this bar to keep the vehicle stable. Now when we remove the wheel, we want to spray this bolt here and this one down here with a good quality penetrating lubricant. Now the other thing that would cause a rear clanking noise on the suspension is an end link that's actually worn out. So you'll notice that in this vehicle, both end links are actually intact, right? But according to the dealership, that the ball joints inside of here are worn out, which then causes that free play on the sway bar assembly. I'm going to saturate our bolts and just let that sit here for about 20 minutes or so, and just do the same for both sides. So here's a service tip. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take an impact gun with a 14mm socket, and I'm just going to crack this nut loose just a hair so that I can get more penetrating lube to go into the back side of this nut. So you can see the rust breaking free. It's just apply some more penetrating lube to these threads, and just do the same for the upper bolt, the upper nut, lower nut on each side. These joints have been soaking now for about 30 minutes. And so if you have any hopes of trying to put an Allen key into this end of the joint and undoing this nut, you guys are dreaming. It's never going to happen because of the amount of corrosion that's on these threads. We have to use a set of vice grips to grip onto that little ball joint that's located inside this end link, grip it so it doesn't spin, and then using a ratchet or a wrench to be able to turn this so that this shaft doesn't spin. Now the issue here is that that ball is embedded in this end link, and so we have to expose it, and since these end links are worn anyways, we're going to use a trusty pry bar and basically break the link by prying down on it and busting it off like that. Basically you're just going to destroy it and then keep prying until that little plastic piece and the rubber cup break off. And once that's broken, you can just kind of pull this little rubber cover off, and then this is what that socket looks like. To break the joint off of the sway bar, you just kind of swing this broken piece in such a way so that you can get your pry bar into it, so you can pry it off like so. And then just like how we broke the cup on the control arm portion, we're going to take our pry bar and a hammer and just break off that little plastic piece, and then just pull off the rubber boot. So I've got one part here that's kind of intact still, and that's that ball joint cup. So here's a close-up view. The insides of that plastic begin to wear out, which then causes free play in the end link. Okay, so now the next step is to actually get the end link ball joints off. And what you want to do is you want to get a good quality pair of vice grips, and you want to grip this thing as tight as you can. Okay, we're going to take our impact gun and break that off, just like magic. Okay, so we're going to do the same, the one on the control arm. So that nice and tight. Here's a close-up view of these end links. That plastic piece I showed you earlier sits in here that you've got to break off so that you can expose this ball joint piece so you can get your vice grips onto that and clamp onto it so that you can remove these really badly seized on nuts. For a vehicle that's 12 years old, this one's actually in pretty good shape. Okay, so the replacement end links that we're going to be putting into the CR-V are the genuine Honda ones because of the fact that they fit perfectly, they are of good quality, and they actually came in cheaper than buying a high quality aftermarket variant. Now I do want to point out that the end links are actually side dependent. There's two different part numbers here. One is 52320 SWA-A01, which is the rear passenger side, while 52321 SWA-A01 is for the rear driver side. So you need to make sure you pay attention to that. Now, when you buy the end links from Honda, one really bizarre thing is that they don't actually include replacement nuts for the end links, and I don't recommend you reusing the old ones. So you got to make sure that when you're at the dealership that you also ask for the appropriate size nuts. Now this is what that replacement end link looks like. Now before we put these in, we're going to need to do a few things. We need to make sure that we've got an Allen key or a hex bit on a socket that is 5mm so that we can actually insert that into the center core of the end link to prevent the shaft from spinning while we're using an open-ended wrench to tighten that 14mm nut onto it. Now the other thing we want to do is to coat the threads with some silver grade anti-seize compound. This isn't really a necessary step, but it's more used to prevent corrosion and to make future removal of these end links just a little bit easier. Put a liberal amount of anti-seize onto the threads. Spread that on. We need to install the top portion of the link first onto the sway bar. And if you forgot the orientation of it, it's actually the nut side facing you. And then we're going to slide this down and then get that into position and installing the lower nut. We're going to take our wrench and put it onto the nut, and then take our 5mm hex socket or Allen key. And we're just going to hold that center spindle, make sure it's pressed in all the way, and then just hand tighten the nut to about 30 to 35 foot-pounds. Now we don't need a torque wrench here because really it's just hand tight. It's more than sufficient for these little nuts. Repeat the same procedure for the lower one. And then repeat the same procedure for the other side. Okay guys, so final step is of course to reinstall our lug nuts and torque them down to 85 foot-pounds, and then take it for a short test drive to make sure that the clunking has gone away, and then again when you're done your drive to re-torque the lug nuts a second time to 85 foot-pounds. So as you can see from this repair video, that replacing a sway bar end link is neither difficult or time consuming and can be accomplished with some basic hand tools. If you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, and thanks for watching.